Congratulations, Eagle. You are one of only 4% of scouts to achieve the Eagle rank. Now what? You are eligible to become a member of the largest Eagle's Nest in the entire Boy Scouts of America. It's called the National Eagle Scout Association, or NESA. At the Jamboree, come see our NESA exhibit in the Legacy Village between the stadium and Boulder Cove. Visit Regis, our live bald eagle. See our VIP presentations with astronauts, congressmen, and other Eagle Scouts who have excelled in their life achievements. Purchase exclusive Eagle merchandise in our trading post. Learn how you can become a member of NESA, and be sure to follow us on social media through live updates each day. You don't have to be an Eagle Scout to enjoy the NESA exhibit, and if you promise to become an Eagle, you will receive a free pin to commemorate your commitment. You can see our magnificent Scout pole that was carved by over 1,000 Jamboree participants in 2013. And you can even do a bit of carving yourself on the 2017 version. Why would you want to become a member of NESA? It's a way to continue to fellowship and enjoy the spirit of scouting for the rest of your life, and to continue to be of service and do your duty to God, country, and your fellow scouts. NESA publishes regular magazines and newsletters for its members with exciting news about the adventures and accomplishments of other Eagle Scouts. NESA offers special college scholarships for Eagle Scouts. Each year, hundreds of Scouts are able to attend college on NESA scholarships. NESA also sponsors the Adams National Eagle Scout Service Project of the Year Award, recognizing the best of Eagle projects. But wait, there's more! Have you heard of the NESA World Explorer program? Probably not, right? Each year, a dozen or more Eagle Scouts are selected to assist explorers and researchers in destinations around the world, such as the Galapagos Islands, Mammoth Cave, the Amazon rainforest, and South Africa. Pretty cool, right? We told you that NESA is awesome. For Eagles who are James E. West Fellows in their local councils, the NESA Legacy Society Fellowship provides an opportunity to make a direct contribution to the National NESA Endowment, furthering the support of scouting. The NESA Legacy Endowment provides direct funding of Eagle Scout scholarships, NESA Committee service grants, and career networking and encouragement for all Scouts who have earned the Eagle Scout badge. So come to the NESA exhibit in the Legacy Village to see all the great things you are eligible to enjoy as an Eagle Scout. Get your free Jamboree gift from NESA, especially for Eagles. And remember, once an Eagle, always an Eagle.
Good morning. Welcome to the National Eagle Scout Association exhibit here at the 2017 National Jamboree. We are very excited to continue our NESA very inspirational presenter series. This morning we have an amazing kickoff presenter. This gentleman is more than just a historian, more than just an author. He is an individual that has made a lasting contribution to scouting ever since he joined the program. I'd like to say a few winters and summers ago. But for specifics, he served in the 1960 Order of the Arrow Service Corps. So when you see all our friends, our young men in blue who are making a difference, Terry was a trendsetter back then. He is a recipient of the Silver Beaver. He is also a recipient of the Distinguished Eagle Scout Award. It is my pleasure to introduce a gentleman who is going to provide an outstanding history of the Eagle Scout Award, the medal, and the badge. Please help me welcome Dr. Terry Grove.
Many of the men shaping America's events and destinies share one honorable legacy. They are Eagle Scouts.
This great nation will endure as it has. I have a dream. This nation will rise up.
In the past 100 years, more than 2 million Scouts have earned the Eagle Award, Scouting's highest rank. Generations of boys grow into skilled young men, advancing through Scouting's ranks with hard work, perseverance, and a commitment to the sacred honor of the Scout Law.
On my honor, I will do my best
to make my training,
Men who earned their Eagle Award counted among their most
rank and
prized
influence,
possessions.
count strongly for better scouting,
count strongly for better scouting,
and for better citizenship.
for better citizenship.
They learn not only positive leadership skills, but develop character, ethics, and a personal sense of duty to their communities and country.
Well, for me, earning the rank of Eagle Scout was a major accomplishment. I felt really very proud. I was very proud of what I had accomplished, but more importantly, it meant to me the fulfillment of a lot of people's hopes and dreams in my future.
Being an Eagle Scout meant more as years went by, even than it did when I got the award.
Those scouts, that small percentage that go on to be Eagle Scouts, they often find themselves in the leadership positions here in our country. And we've seen the variety of people from presidents to astronauts that are involved in scouting and particularly achieve that Eagle Scout rank.
The year is 1912. New Mexico and Arizona become states. The Titanic sinks on its maiden voyage. Woodrow Wilson is elected president. And a young man named Arthur Eldred becomes the first Boy Scout to earn the Eagle Scout Award. In fact, a total of 23 Eagle Scout badges were earned that year. Through the decades, the number of Eagle Scout badges awarded reached new milestones, with Alex Holsinger becoming the 1 millionth Eagle Scout in 1982, and Anthony Thomas becoming the 2 millionth Eagle Scout in 2009. Scouts earning their Eagle during 2012 will receive this special rank patch commemorating the Eagle Scout Award's centennial celebration. Perhaps no one is more familiar with the history of the Eagle Scout Award than distinguished Eagle Scout Dr. Terry Grove. His collection of Eagle Award medals is considered the largest in the world.
The fun thing is to watch a father bring his son in and walk over and say, "That's my Eagle. That's what mine looked like."
With a century of Eagle Scouts helping to guide the course of American history now in our rearview mirror, what's in store for today's new generation of Eagles, and how do they view their role in shaping America's next 100 years?
I feel so confident now when I walk in to rooms and I can tell people know that I just got my Eagle Scout and they tell me congratulations. It makes me feel so good, and it definitely does give me a lot of confidence to say that I'm an Eagle Scout.
Eagle rank to me in 10 years means more of, it's not the actual rank, but it's what I learned from getting to the rank. And that's probably leadership.
I had this idea of joining the Navy. And then when I did join, I put down that I was an Eagle Scout. And it surprised my recruiter, and it surprised a whole bunch of people. And it made them look at me in a different way.
I have great respect for the kids that are Eagles today and believe that they're just as solid as any Eagle's ever been, from Eldred right through to the present time.
An Eagle Scout is more than wearing a badge. It's a lifelong state of being. One never was an Eagle Scout. One is an Eagle Scout.
Well, welcome. It's good to have you here. The Eagle Scout Award. What I'm going to do is share with you a little bit of where it came from, how it got to be what it is, and I'll answer any questions at the end. I'll try to hustle along so there's some time if you have some questions you'd like to ask me. Appreciate you coming here in the middle of a very hot afternoon and right after lunch. Scouting was formed in 1907 in England when Baden-Powell took a whole bunch of kids and went to a place called Brownsea Island. And that was the beginning of the scouting program. It came to the United States in 1910. Baden-Powell is very involved in trying to expand the scouting program. And when it came to the United States, 3 men became the leaders: James West, Ernest Thompson Seton, and Daniel Beard. Seton was a writer, and he established or went to work on a first book that could be made available so that the scouting movement had commonality. Everybody was doing the same kinds of things. And in the Seton book that was developed in 1910, the highest rank was first class, not Eagle, first class. Tenderfoot, second class, first class. And then if you got to first class, you could earn 14 badges of merit. There was no life and there was no star. And if you got the 14 badges of merit, you could become a Wolf Scout. Here's how you could be a tenderfoot. You had to know the Scout law, signs and salute. You had to know the history of the flag, and you had to be able to do 4 standard knots. Out of all the knots, you had to do 4 of them. If you were a second class Scout, you had to be a tenderfoot for a month. You had to do elementary first aid, signaling. You had to be able to track in 25 minutes, a half a mile. Or if you lived in town, they had what they called bay windows in the 5 and dime stores. You went to the window and they would ask you to look at the window for 2 minutes and then turn you around. Then walk you to a second window, 2 minutes, turn you around. Third window, 2 minutes, turn you around. And then the one that was turning you around would say, okay, tell me what was in window 2. And then you had to describe what was in window 2, and if you did, you passed this particular skill. You had to be able to walk or scout pace 12 minutes, 2 matches to light a fire. You had to be able to use your cook kit to cook. You had to have $1 in a savings account. $1 in 1912 was a nice chunk of change. And you had to know the 16 principles points of the compass. Then when you became first class, you had to swim. You had to have $2. You had to double your savings. You had to do 16 words per minute in signaling. You had to hike or boat 7 miles out and back. You had to know life-saving. You had to cook a meal, pluck and cook a bird, or skin and cook a rabbit. You had to bake bread. You had to read a map. You had to be able to use an axe. You had to be able to judge distance and height. And then the one that scouting should have kept that they let go of, you had to bring a boy into scouting, train that young man, and he became a tenderfoot scout. You could sign off on this requirement. So you couldn't be a first class scout unless you were expanding the troop and expanding the program. Just imagine what scouting would be today if that was one of the requirements that we would have. Then instead of 14 badges, well, the 14 badges of merit were these. Take a quick look at those. Some of them look familiar, some of them don't. The one that catches everybody's imagination is the one that says stocking. When you were a Boy Scout in those days, you could stalk, but not people. You could stalk animals out in the wilderness. You had to track them by looking at their markings as they were doing footprints and so on. You had to be able to show that you could follow and stalk the animal. If you had 14 badges of merit, and if you were a first class scout, then you could become a Wolf Scout. Wolf was the rank that was highest in the English program, and so it was written in the American program initially as the highest award that you could earn. There was a proof copy of the book that was sent out in June of 1911, 4,600 copies. They added Star and Life, and they added 21 merit badges that was required for the Wolf Scout out of 52 that were in the book that was put out. Not just the 14, but 52. If you were a Wolf Scout, you had 21 merit badges, and you had a head in silver, and it represented the all-around perfect scout. And that's what it would look like if you earned it. It was never made available. It's only done in picture for us to see. The response in the country to the book was incredible. Loved the program, wanted to be involved, but they said Wolf was not right. The national symbol of the Boy Scouts of America needed to be the eagle. And so they changed, and that's how the Eagle Scout became the top award. When the handbook came out for good in August of 11, all the way till the March of 14. That was the icon that was in the book. Again, it was never produced. It was just, that was an artist rendering of what they thought the eagle might look like that would be presented. By 1915, they had it figured out, and the eagle design that was put in the handbook and was ultimately given out looked just like the eagle of today. You could become an Eagle Scout with 21 merit badges of your choice. None were required. And you could go straight from first class to Eagle. But if you decided that you wanted to go Life and Star and Eagle, and I did that in the correct order for then, because it was Life first, then Star, then Eagle, you had to have 5 merit badges for Life: Athletics, First Aid, Life Saving, Personal Health, and Public Health. After you achieved those, you could do 5 more of your own choice, and then 11 more of your own choice to become an Eagle Scout. Arthur Eldred from Long Island, New York, was the first Eagle Scout. He had his board of review on January 31st, 1912. That was a significant day because Baden-Powell arrived in New York the morning of January 31st. Eldred was in the reception line, and after the receiving was done, they went back to the headquarters in New York. And Eldred had his board of review, and on his board of review was James West, Dan Beard, E. Thompson, Ernest Thompson Seton, and Baden-Powell, along with 2 or 3 others. It lasted for 2 hours, and it is said that during that time, Powell talked to Eldred and encouraged him to build a fire right there in the office. And he took by friction and built a fire as a part of his board of review. And he was declared at that point passed. The National Court of Honor presented him as the first Eagle Scout in March 29 of 1912. And then by August of 1912, a letter was written to him, signed by West, saying that he was the first Eagle Scout. And by Memorial Day of 1912, he received the first Eagle Medal. It had been produced by then. That's a copy of the letter. Those are the words that are in the letter. In those days, the boys did not have sashes. They wore their patches or merit badges on the sleeve of their jacket or tunic. And that is the actual sleeve of Eldred's merit badges. He had 21, and if we had time, we'd have some fun trying to figure out what they are, because many of them don't look the same today. And that's a picture of Eldred's medal that does exist. It is in the museum that is in Texas, and it is on display along with his merit badge sleeve. Those 2 things are there. The letter that was sent to him is still in the hands of the family, and I think it will remain as a part of their memory of who their grandfather was. The second Eagle Scout was presented on September the 12th, 1912. He was from Jacksonville, Florida, and that's a record of his receiving or of achieving Eagle by July of 12. That's it's a copy of his card and pictures of his life and star. He was the only one of the first 8 Eagles that actually did Life, Star, and Eagle. Everybody else went directly to Eagle as from first class. Eldred is the 3rd one from, I guess as you're looking at it, he's the 3rd one from the left. Then on September 13th, 1912, at the same National Court of Honor, 3rd Eagle Scout was Roy Young out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. And that's a page out of his book that I have in collection. It's one of the latest editions that I've got. It's absolutely wonderful to have his 1912 handbook with his signature and all his information in it. When he became an adult, he became a Scout executive for 2 to 3 years in Indiana, another 2 to 3 years in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and he wore this tunic that is also in my display now, and it's a wonderful, and it's in absolutely tip-top condition. Then in September 14th, a day later in the Court of Honor, 5 Eagle Scouts were presented. I call them the Shokan 5. The Scoutmaster was Sidney Clapp. He was the first adult to get an eagle. And then there were 4 others that went with him. His eagle looked like this. And these were the 4 that were along with him. And that's a picture of what I call the West Shokan 5. Eagle 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the history. An adult eagle was, if you were an adult, you could do the same requirements that a boy could, and you could earn eagle the same as a boy could. And you were allowed to do that up until 1965. I'll show you a little bit about that in a couple minutes. This was their sophisticated camp for where the West Shokan 5 did their camping. 1924 was a big year. It's the first year of the merit badge sash. Up until that time, they wore them on the tunic. 24, they introduced the idea of a sash. The sash was introduced because that was the year of the World Jamboree in Denmark. And James West wanted everybody from the United States to look the same. And they created the sash for everyone to have a similar sash to go to the Jamboree. That was also the year of the first Eagle patch. And it was also the first year of a congratulatory letter signed by the Chief Scout Executive sent to each Eagle Scout, and that's been done ever since. Every Eagle Scout gets a letter from the Chief Exec, and now from the Chief Exec and the President of the Boy Scouts. This is a sample of one of the merit badges that went to the World Jamboree in 1924. There were 6. There were 3 wide, and this is one of the 6. And the Eagle badge was not on the uniform, it was put on the sash. If you look really close, the merit badges were not sewn on, they were sewn together and then sewn into the actual ply of the merit badge sash. The Eagle patch that's on the sash is a bit different than the one that was done for normal consumption, and this is a picture of the one that was sold and used from 24 to 32. There were 7,400 eagles from 12 to 23, and I've not been able to find a congratulatory letter there of any of those out of the 7,000, which made me decide that the first letter was in 24 and not earlier, other than Eldred's letter in 12. The first one that I have is given to Roger Moore. By the way, that's not the Roger Moore that played James Bond, but he was a part of the contingent that was going to Denmark, and the letter arrived in New York at the contingent planning area, and he received the letter from West that year. Copy of the letter. By 1925, the letter was being done regularly. Sometimes it was a shorter letter, sometimes it was longer, but it was a common letter that was sent out to every Eagle Scout. In 1941, just before our involvement in the war, a letter was sent out to the Eagles from maybe March, April, May, June, in that time frame. And in that letter, in the second paragraph, was an encouragement for an Eagle Scout to consider serving his country with the skills that he had learned. That letter lasted about 4 months, and then it was gone. Nobody wanted the Boy Scouts to be a recruiting agency for the military, and so that was taken out of the letter. So I have a letter early in 41 where it doesn't exist, and a letter late in 41 that doesn't, and the one in the middle where it does. Now you could earn Eagle until September of 1965 as an adult. If you did the requirements, you could do the Eagle. The idea was that the adults would be better mentors if they were experiencing what the boys were experiencing. And so they could get their eagle. But in 1965, it was decided that that was not appropriate any longer. So then scouting had to figure out, how do we let the adults know that they can't do it anymore? What, other than coming out and saying, if you're 18, you're done. Because they didn't want to deal with age discrimination and so on. So they were really clever about what they did. They made a requirement that a boy had to hold a boy office for 6 months. And no adult could hold a boy office, and so that was the end of adults being able to be Eagle Scouts. Over the years, there's been 77 different required merit badges for the Eagle Scout Award. The most ever that were needed out of 21 was 16. That was 1952 to 1965. From 14 to 16, 11 of 21, and those were the 11 that were required. There was no alternatives. From 72 to 79, it was required 24 merit badges. That was the days when they wanted the scouting program to become more urban, changed the handbook, changed a lot of the book's requirements, and you could get to be an Eagle without knowing how to swim, and you could do other things that you didn't have to do before. And that was supposed to get the inner city kids and the urban kids involved in scouting. And so these were the required ones at that time. Currently, it takes 13 required out of 21, and as I understand it, these are the alternatives for what you need to be an Eagle Scout today. In 2010, NESA created the Glenn and Melinda Adams National Eagle Scout Service Project Award that can be given out by councils where there's a NESA committee. There's a regional award, and then there's a national award. And that's a really impressive thing that was designed in order to help get better service projects if there was a reward at the other end for a young man if he did a good job on what he was doing with his service project. Only if you have a NESA committee in your council can you give this award. It looks like this, and it's a pin, and it can be worn on the ribbon of the Eagle Award for the young man that receives it. Bronze local, gold, real gold at the region, and silver at the national. $500 scholarship at the regional level, and a $2,500 scholarship if you win the national program. I'm going to stop at this point, so we have a couple minutes for questions. If any of you'd like to ask me any questions, please do. This is me, and I have a book over here at this table that is the history of the Eagle Scout Award, all that I've shared with you in pictures and design and so on. It's $35, and I'll autograph it for free, and you're welcome to take it with you if you'd like today. Any questions you'd like to ask? I know that we have a couple of old Eagle Scouts in the room. There's a guy over here that got his Eagle in 1964. Anybody older than 1964 in your Eagle? Just you and me, babe. You 64, me 56. Questions? No questions?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
So you said that the highest award in the Boy Scouts used to be the Wolf Award, and then it became the Eagle. And you said that it was first the Wolf Award because that was the highest award in the UK. Do you happen to know when they changed their award? Because I know now it's not the Wolf Award.
Yeah, they eventually changed it to the King and Queen Award. And I'm not sure when that took place, but so depending on who's sitting on the throne, it's either a Queen Scout or a King Scout.
Thank you.
The reason why the Wolf Scout was used was because Baden-Powell, in his African adventures, was known as the Wolf, and Seton was known as the Black Wolf. So them two working together they thought the Wolf Scout was a pretty good idea until the populace of the United States said, no, Eagle's where it needed to be.
What's the story on the Eagle Palms?
Currently, or just the story?
Collectively.
Well, what happened in the 20s is the same thing that was been happening. When a boy got his eagle or got to a certain age, he lost interest. And so the palms were a way of continuing involvement and interest in scouting. And the order, bronze, gold, and silver, is, if you remember, military. That's the military order, not the Olympic order. That's the military order. So silver has always been the top in scouting. Currently, they've just made a decision that a boy can get his palms at the very moment that he earns them. There is no longer a border review, and there is no longer a waiting period. So starting in October this year, you can get your eagle, and if you have enough palms, you can get your palms at the same time that you get your eagle. Yes, sir.
Before NESA, there was a group called the Knights of Dunamis. When did they get started, and how did they eventually become the National Eagle Scout Association?
I really appreciate your question. I know a little bit about Eagle. I don't know a whole lot about the history of the Knights of Dunamis. The Knights of Dunamis, am I still on? The Knights of Dunamis was for Eagle Scouts. And I believe it was started on the West Coast. And it had its own sort of mystery and ceremony, and it was a service organization. When in late 1960s, when NESA was formed, it was brought into NESA and became part of NESA and went away. That's the best I can do for you. Any other questions? See, I have a captive audience now because it's raining out there. Well, I appreciate it a lot. Any of you'd like, come on over and visit with the pretty lady over there. She'll be glad to help you with the books. We'll autograph them, and you can take them home with you.
Dr. Grove, we'd like to thank you. We'd like to thank you for your presentation with the currency of scouting. A nice patch. Ooh, special. Thank you.
There's only just a few of these. It can be bought. No, I'm sorry.
Well, I looked last night. None of them on eBay yet. Thank you, guys. Stay dry. Make sure you're drinking water. Even though the water's coming out of the sky, you're still dehydrating if you don't take more water in.